Hey everyone, and welcome back to another 10-minute Marvel video. Thank you for joining me here over on the YouTube. And I wanted to touch on a topic that I actually mentioned last video, or a couple of videos ago, and that was, who is OB? Who is Ouroboros? There's a few, I'm not going to say clues, but there are a few interesting things about his character. And this will contain some spoilers for Loki Season 2, so if you haven't seen that, be warned. I will also put that in the description in case you're reading that first to figure out if you should watch this. But Ouroboros, interesting character, great portrayal of a character that doesn't exist in Marvel Comics unless do they? And I'm going to toss out a couple different theories that we've talked about on the podcast, but he's just an interesting character. And there's a couple, like I said, there are two things that were interesting to me about this. And one of them coming from episode 4. Actually, both of them coming from episode 4, but one of them was touched on earlier. The one that was purely in episode 4 was we get this interaction with OB and Victor Timely where Victor is like, oh, I based all my stuff off of your work, and OB is like, oh, I based all my stuff off of your work. So is this just the grandfather paradox of, well, OB created his stuff off of Victor Timely's, and Victor Timely is given the handbook in the past, which then prompts him to create his writing, which OB then uses. Basically, yeah, if you travel to the past and procreate, leading to your lineage, can you be your own grandfather? Is the that's the theory. That might be what that is, or it might be something more. And the other thing is, when Miss Minutes plays the clip for Ravonna, and when He Who Remains orders that the minds of everybody at the TVA, Order 42, that it was for everybody at the TVA to be wiped. So why wasn't Ouroboros wiped? Or was Ouroboros wiped and he was, or brought in at a later time? Something like that. Because it seems like he hasn't had his memories reset. It seems like he remembers more further back than other people do. So this led to a little bit of discussion, and I want to toss out 4 ideas that I think would be interesting to explore for OB. First off, OB is not actually a human. OB is, in fact, a robot, another AI creation of He Who Remains, or of A. Kang. He is somebody who has been built and programmed basically to, he has his own personality and stuff like that, but he is mainly there for the preservation of the TVA and the maintenance of it. Whereas Miss Minutes is more of an operational figure, keeping track on what the people are doing. OB is a robot who's in charge of the technology. Another one would be that OB is maybe a brilliant person from the Marvel timeline, from Marvel Comics. And who could that be? One theory would be Amadeus Cho. If he is like an older version of Amadeus Cho, who is generally considered to be on par with a Tony Stark or a Reed Richards in terms of intelligence. Maybe he's the more impressionable, swayable person, which in the comics I would say that he probably is compared to those two, who He Who Remains could use. Who He Who Remains would be like, okay, I need somebody smart enough to be able to create everything that I want for the TVA, and this person can do it. I can pull them from their timeline to basically set up this system for me. Another one, and this is one that honestly I don't think is going to be true, but I would kind of like it to be, and that would be that Obi is, again, another Marvel character, but somebody who plays a big role in Secret Wars. Obi is Molecule Man. So in the most recent Secret Wars, Molecule Man, he's basically the one who is powering Battleworld. And a lot of how the incursions and things like that are occurring is because Molecule Men are being pulled out of those universes. That they're basically collecting them. And I'm not going to spoil that comic to say who the they are, but it is an interesting idea and one that I like, because I think it would give OB a bigger role in stuff like Kang Dynasty or Secret Wars, because it's just such a fun character. I really don't want to see it end at a single season. And the other option, and again, this one I think is a bit far-fetched, and who knows, I think maybe the most likely is the AI, but what if he's a Kang variant? What if he is just a completely different Kang? We've seen how much variety there can be in Lokis. We saw that in Loki season 1. And Kang, we have mainly seen Kangs that are basically the same. But what if some of the Kangs are born differently, like even more differently than He Who Remains? What would that mean? And I think that's an intriguing question and an intriguing idea. So, who do you think Obi is going to be in Loki? Or is it just simple as he's Obi, he's Ouroboros, and he's just going to be there for Loki? Leave your thoughts in the comments below, and see you next time.